I think I've given myself a bit of a head rush. That probably wasn't a good idea. What's up guys, Saf here on SuperSaf TV, and we have here the brand new Apple AirPods Pro. One of the first videos with these in the world, SuperSaf style of course, so a thumbs up for that would be appreciated. Now these are quite different to the current AirPods that we have, and I also have here. So not only will we be checking out the AirPods Pro, but we can also compare them to the current AirPods. Let's go ahead and get these unboxed. So straight away from the front of the box, you'll see a picture of the new design, which we'll be taking a better look at. And then at the top here, it says AirPods Pro. And at the back, we do have a picture of the wireless charging case. So wireless charging is supported here on the case. And at the bottom, it says compatible with iOS device, iPad OS device, Apple Watch, or Mac with the latest software. Works with Qi certified chargers. It does not have any reference to AirPower this time, which is good. Right, let's open this up. Designed by Apple in California. We are initially presented with some paperwork. This also has a quick start guide, but that's fine. We'll be running through all of that in this video. Then we have the AirPods Pro. I'm gonna put them to the side and see what else we get. Now inside this little compartment, we do have some flexible silicone ear tips. So we have small and large, and the mediums are already installed. So this is the first time we've had ear tips like this on the AirPods, which is pretty cool. And then we have a USB Type-C to Lightning cable. Now I'm assuming the reason why it's Lightning to USB Type-C and not USB Type-A is because the new iPhone 11 Pros do have that connection as well. So I'm not sure if it's going to affect the speed of charging at all, but you should still be able to use a regular Lightning cable that you have if you don't have the iPhone 11 Pros to charge these up. Right, now getting to the AirPods Pro. Right, here is the charging case, which is slightly different in size compared to the current AirPods case. So you'll see here that it's slightly shorter, but it is wider. I mean, if I put this horizontal, then it's not too much bigger. It is a little bit bigger, but it is roughly the same depth as far as I can see. So it's not really gonna feel too different if you've already been carrying the current AirPods. Right, now let's open these up, and there they are. Right, let's take a closer look at these before we link them up. So right away I can see that the outside tips are not as long as what we've had on the current AirPods. And then we've got these black vents. Now just bringing in the current AirPods for a physical comparison, you can definitely see that the tips that hang down, I don't know what you call them, are much, much shorter on the AirPods Pro, which I definitely do like. And the AirPods Pro are also IPX4 water and sweat resistant. So if you're going to be working out with these, then that should not be a problem. Let's go ahead and link these up to my iPhone now. If you've ever used AirPods before, you'll know that the pairing is very, very easy with your iPhone. So if we just pop these open, you'll notice that we'll get a notification very soon. There we go. AirPods Pro, you can temporarily connect AirPods to this iPhone to share audio. So that's quite interesting. If you do have a friend and you wanna share some audio, then thanks to iOS 13, you can now do that, which is definitely quite cool. Or you can connect to iPhone. So we're gonna connect straight to iPhone. It says hold the button at the back of the charging case. So we'll do that. Connecting, done. And it says setup, hey, I'm not going to say, I don't want to activate everybody's devices. And then it actually shows you how much battery life is left. So I've got 64% in the case and 100% on my AirPods Pro. Done. And there we have it. Nice and easy. I absolutely love this simple connection process. Super, super straightforward. Now, one of the key things that we've got here on the AirPods Pro is Active Noise Cancellation. And Apple are saying that the AirPods Pro are the only in-ear headphones with Active Noise Cancellation that continuously adapts to the geometry of your ear and the fit of your ear tips. Now the way this works is that there's an outward facing mic that detects external sound, and the AirPods Pro then counter it with equal anti-noise, cancelling the external sound before you hear it. Now what's really interesting is that the noise cancellation is adjusted around 200 times a second. That's insane. And that's going to ensure that you get that immersive sound and that it keeps the outside noise out. Let's try these on and put them to the test. Now, firstly, let's talk about the fit. So some of you guys may already know that with the current generation AirPods, they actually struggle to stay in my ears and they do fall out. My ears are a bit of a weird shape, so I am that small percentage of people who does struggle with those types of earphones. And first impressions, they do seem to stay in, and that seems to be thanks to the silicone tips that go inside. So let's test this out. Okay, they've stayed in, I think I've given myself a bit of a head rush. That probably wasn't a good idea. But yeah, they seem to stay in. I'd be confident to maybe go for a run with these, although I don't actually run much. Maybe a fast walk or something. But generally, I can definitely say that the fit is much, much better compared to the current generation AirPods. Now, if you go into the settings, you can actually do an ear tip fit test. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna test the fit of your ears by using the internal mics. Okay, so I'm gonna play this here. It's playing some music. Okay, so they're saying that we've got a good seal with both of these, so the medium should be fine for me, but I guess if they want, then I could try the large or the small ones. Now let's go ahead and play some music. Okay. All right, I'm not an audio expert by any means, but they sound very good to me. The noise isolation is also very, very good. And we're gonna now test out the active noise cancellation. So what you can do is if you go here onto the volume settings, you can actually switch between active noise cancellation, you can switch it off, or you can go onto transparency. Now, transparency is gonna allow you to hear what's going on around you. So say somebody's talking to you, or if you're on the train and you need to hear the announcements, you can switch on the transparency mode. But I'm just gonna play some stuff on my iPhone 11 here. I'm gonna see how much of that I can hear with these on and with these off. So the iPhone 11 is now playing some royalty-free music so I don't get sued. And I'm gonna now play some music on here and then switch on active noise cancellation. Yep. Okay, that's on pretty loud, so let me switch that off. Right, so I can definitely notice the difference. It's quite significant as soon as you switch on active noise cancellation. The outside noise is definitely minimized, and my volume wasn't too loud, so I was around 50 to 60%, so it wasn't like the volume was super loud or anything. And as soon as I switched it off, then I could hear a little bit of it, and then when I put on transparency, then I could hear more of it. I was actually testing a pair of these on the train station, and they did seem to work really well for me. Now I'm gonna listen to some music on these and then I'm gonna switch over on to the AirPods, the current generation AirPods, and kind of see if I can really notice much of a difference. Right, so take these off, put these on. Put these back on again. So in my inexperienced audio knowledge, I do prefer the sound of the AirPods Pro, and I like that you can cancel out the noise. The isolation is so much better compared to the current generation AirPods. There does seem to be a bit more emphasis on the bass. On the current generation of AirPods, that seems to be to kind of, just drown out some of the outside noise maybe. But I definitely do like these, and I do prefer the AirPods Pro to the current generation AirPods for sure. Now for controls, we actually have a different way to control the new AirPods Pro. We have this capacitive area which you can press down on. Pressing once is gonna play, pause, or answer a phone call. Pressing twice is gonna skip to the next track. Pressing 3 times is gonna skip to the previous track. And then pressing and holding is gonna switch between the active noise cancellation and the transparency mode. So if somebody comes over to talk to you, you can just press and hold. So it's definitely more of a press than a tap, but it does seem to work okay. And of course, there is also support for Siri. So you can ask Siri to maybe call somebody, play something, or even find some directions. Now let's talk about battery life. So on the AirPods Pro, you can get up to 4.5 hours of listening on a single charge, or even up to 5 hours, Apple is saying, if you turn off the active noise cancellation and the transparency. There's up to 3.5 hours of talk time. I did test these out earlier for a phone call with a buddy, and everything did sound very, very good. I actually do really like this on the current AirPods as well. When it comes to phone calls, they are very, very good. Now, those are the AirPods themselves, but as soon as you bring in the wireless charging case into the mix, then you can get more than 24 hours of listening time or up to 18 hours of talk time. But I think the best thing is that if you do pop these back into the case, then leaving these in here for 5 minutes will give you up to 1 hour of listening time, which is definitely quite good. How long it takes to charge up this case itself, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see about that. But generally speaking, battery life shouldn't be too much of a problem. Finally, pricing and availability. So these are currently available to pre-order, and they are going to be shipping and available in stores from tomorrow. They're going to be retailing for £249 here in the UK or $249 in the US. So that's $50 or £50 more than the current generation AirPods with the wireless charging case, or around £90 or dollars more for the current generation AirPods without the wireless charging case. Now, in terms of my opinion on these, I would definitely pay the $50 more compared to the current generation AirPods to get these because of that better fit primarily, as well as the active noise cancellation. I think those two things are worth it alone just for those extra $50. But of course, there's lots of other competition in the market as well. I haven't tried too many. As I mentioned, I'm not too much of an audiophile. I do use the Galaxy Buds a lot, which are coming in quite a bit cheaper, but they don't have the active noise cancellation. But if you are interested in the AirPods, AirPods in general are currently the most popular headphones in the world, not just wireless. I'm talking headphones full stop, and clearly that's for a reason. A lot of people do like them. And I think a lot of people are going to be liking these as well. That's what I think anyway. What do you guys think? Definitely drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then do hit that thumbs up button for me. And if you haven't already, then be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future coverage. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.